Let's start by covering the abilities. Sazabi's primary fire is the beam shot rifle, a close-range shotgun that fires a 400 damage shot that rapidly falls off at distance. The beam shot rifle can hit a headshot for double damage, has an ammo count of 7 shots, and a fire rate of 1 shot per 0.45 seconds. Sazabi's secondary fire ability allows it to attack and defend at the same time by using a 1600 hit point shield that blocks all damage from about 120 degrees in front of it. However, it does not block stun abilities. If hit through its shield, Sazabi will still take the stun and damage from abilities such as Barbatos's Slam, Zaku's Ultimate, Gundam's Mace, Turn A Gundam's Grapple ability, and an enemy Sazabi's Tomahawk. The shield recovers at a rate of 125 HP per second after 1.5 seconds of non-use, and will break if its HP is depleted to 0, after which it will immediately begin recharging and be reusable at 650 HP. Note, Sazabi's shield is not on a cooldown, and can be used at any time if it has not lost all hit points. Sazabi's F ability is Beam Tomahawk. Throw a tomahawk projectile that will stick into anything it hits, dealing 250 damage and stunning if contacting an enemy player. This ability cannot headshot, and remains for the duration of its 6-second cooldown before it is able to be used again. Sazabi's E ability is Homing Boost. Charge toward an ally or thrown Beam Tomahawk, dealing 450 damage and knockback on contact with an enemy. This ability is very flexible, as it can be used to not only travel horizontally but also vertically, dive aggressively to gain important positions, finish off tomahawk targets, or use it defensively to escape from danger. Just remember, this ability is on a 7-second cooldown, so have a plan to survive the full 7 seconds if you use it to dive in aggressively. Sazabi's C ability is Enemy Search. Search to detect enemies and reveal their positions for a short time. This ability marks any enemy that Sazabi sees for 5 seconds, allowing both Sazabi and his team to see their outlines through walls. Use this 12-second cooldown to scout a target for your Beam Tomahawk homing charge combo, and then dive onto the unsuspecting victim before the 7-second wall sights ends. Note, the ability begins recharging 5 seconds after use, so there is a 17-second period between uses. Sazabi's shift ability is Thruster Gauge, a 1-section mobility bar. It can be used slowly to sprint or to hover in mid-air, or it can be fully expended as a short-range dash. Use it to rapidly reposition in combat to nearby cover, or to quickly return to battle after death. Sazabi's G maneuver ability is Funnels. 6 drones hover around Sazabi and auto-attack enemies in a large range for the duration of the ability. This ultimate lasts for 12 seconds, and travels with Sazabi while not actively attacking an enemy. Each drone does 75 damage per shot, and they can target multiple enemies at the same time. Funnels reloads Sazabi's weapon, but does not adjust any other abilities. With the abilities covered, let's move on to Sazabi's strengths and weaknesses. Sazabi's biggest strengths are in close-range encounters. The high damage from its shotgun and frontal protection from its shield allow it an absolute advantage against any enemy that cannot stun through its shield. Get close into the face of a stunless target, and Sazabi won't lose. The enemy will be forced to run, and Sazabi will have accomplished its goal even if it fails to secure the kill. Having said this, the biggest counter to Sazabi are mobile suits with stun abilities. While Sazabi is normally protected while shooting with its shield up, stun abilities bypass the shield and open it up to further damage. A good Sazabi player can bypass this weakness by tracking the enemy stun cooldowns and playing accordingly around them. If they fail to do this, they will find themselves frequently taking stuns and dying to heavy burst damage. Mobile suits such as Barbatos, RX-78 Gundam, Turn A Gundam, and other Sazabis are mobile suits with stuns that a Sazabi player should be wary of. Since stuns are Sazabi's biggest weakness, a Sazabi player should always be looking to dodge the enemy's stun cooldowns. Sazabi has a short dash on left shift that is perfect for dodging an engaging Barbatos or the mace from an RX-78 Gundam. Homing charge can also be used for the same purpose, but the left shift dash is on a lower cooldown, so it should be expended first. However, one of Sazabi's strengths is its bulky 1400 hit points, so not every hit stun ability on Sazabi equals death. If you find yourself in a situation where you cannot avoid a stun, take the stun behind cover where the enemy cannot properly follow up on it. This strategy will be much more effective against lower damage mobile suits like the RX-78 Gundam than a Barbatos for example, but will still result in fewer deaths regardless. Another of Sazabi's biggest strengths is that it is capable of beating any mobile suit in the game as it only has soft counters. With practice, top players will learn how to fight against each of these soft counters and then will grow to beat them frequently in 1v1s. With a powerful kit and engaging gameplay style, Sazabi will surely be a top-tier mobile suit once Gundam Evolution releases. Now that we've covered the strengths and weaknesses, let's talk about when it's best to play Sazabi. Sazabi is an effective mobile suit choice whether attacking or defending. With some of the highest tanking abilities and movement, Sazabi is best in situations where it can aggressively dive into enemy teams and force them out of important positions, or when it can play defensively by protecting high grounds and holding choke points. Sazabi also thrives when it can protect its team by jumping on long-range damage dealers like Ashimar and GM Sniper. It often won't secure the kill if the snipers have their movement abilities available, but they can't snipe your team when they're running from a shielded Sazabi. So in conclusion, choose Sazabi on maps where there are important high grounds and choke points that a Sazabi can contest. Any map that allows Sazabi to fight in close range situations is also a good choice. And of course, feel free to play Sazabi whenever you're playing against snipers. Now, let's put it all together and talk about how to play Sazabi. Sazabi's primary fire shotgun allows it to deal heavy damage to those within close range, so good positioning that allows safe and effective use of this weapon is everything. A good Sazabi will carry its team as its spearhead, but a bad Sazabi will overextend into death or play too passively and never accomplish anything. It is very important to understand that Sazabi plays quite differently on attack and defense, so let's go over the differences. Playing Sazabi on attack. Choke points are the most deadly place in Gundam Evolution, but also the best place for a Sazabi to shine. Through a choke point or an open space, target an important position or high damage enemy with Sazabi's Tomahawk and enemy search, and then homing boost onto it to threaten the enemy. Whether focusing down a sniper or taking aggression from the enemy team, this buys safe time and space for your team to gain some ground, bypass choke points, or even secure kills. Sazabi's shield protects it for 1600 damage and allows it to attack simultaneously, so don't be afraid to jump onto the enemy team. But be careful not to dive directly into the middle of them, as your shield only blocks damage from the front. Also, pay attention to where your team is and whether they are ready to fight with you, as even though Sazabi is a very powerful mobile suit, it will not win 1v6. Sazabi's G maneuver ability boosts its damage and effective range drastically, so activate the funnels and use them to play even more aggressively. While they do not increase Sazabi's defensive abilities at all, the increase in damage applies immense pressure onto the enemies, forcing them to play defensively or to even attempt escape. Here's a useful tip for your dive engagements. Sazabi's Beam Tomahawk can be thrown at a 60-degree angle to allow for a max range homing charge, or more importantly, it can be thrown in an arc or into the ceiling to allow for a vertical dive. Now, how to play Sazabi on defense. As mentioned before, choke points are the most deadly place in Gundam Evolution. So on defense, it's Sazabi's job to keep these enemies stuck in these choke points for as long as possible and to make them as dangerous as possible. Play in a safe location near these choke points, and engage on the enemy as they inevitably cross into your shotgun range. This forces the enemy into one of two options. They can attempt to defend your assault and risk dying to your uncontested team, or run through the choke, opening opportunities for you to hound them and pounce on any weakened or separated players. Tomahawk and homing boost should usually be saved to disengage from fights where your shield health wanes or you take a lot of damage. However, the combo can also be used to target enemies who get split off during the fight, or onto snipers who position in risky locations. On defense, Sazabi's G maneuver operates very similarly. Use it to spike your damage potential and push choke point defenses and dives onto separated players even harder. So, that's Sazabi. Disrupt the enemy by diving high damage threats. Force mistakes by contesting choke points with its powerful shotgun and shield, and burst with its G maneuver to do more of the same, but even stronger. Thanks so much for watching the video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, as I've got 11 more of these videos set to release that you don't want to miss. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Sazabi and Gundam Evolution so far, so let me know in the comments if you have any questions, want something explained, or just got something you'd like to say. Remember everyone, more guides are coming, so stay tuned and I will see you guys next time.